Hey, this is Ken Casey from the Dropkick Murphys, and I love the Grandstanders! Take it away, Ken!
Hello and welcome to another Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman, and I'm joined by my usual cohorts, the professor. Oh, no, the professor's not there. I'm Joe McLaughlin, and he's JP's first son, Tim Hoey. Well, we have another great show for you tonight. So, boys, let's get it started. We're already starting. We're so excited. So, we were talking, you maybe have heard that before the show started, about what you do during the game because of the nervous factor. So, Joe, what do you do while watching the game? You can't just sit there and watch.
Oh, sometimes, I get up and I'll clean, I'll do laundry, I'll have a set of things I need to get done.
But wait, will you be watching the game or listening?
Oh,
to
yes, it's
every,
yeah.
okay.
In every TV in the house. So no matter where I go, I'm not out of touch.
And
See, I have my iPad streaming it.
okay.
So I'm walking around. The house is immaculate by the end of the game.
So you're walking
all
around
the
doing
laundry's
stuff.
done, and I'm a little bit behind on the streaming.
Yeah, I know.
So you guys were in the group text, and you'll be bashing Smart, and I'm like, oh, what's he gonna do this time?
No,
And then-
this one.
and then
This
it-
one's the
and
worst.
then it comes like 35, 40 seconds later, or I'll hear you guys. Somebody will say, oh,
Shit.
or great play, and I'm like, oh, things are going good. Like, my kids were down in the basement, and I was out on my front porch smoking a cigar watching it, and I could hear them cheering, and like it was going bad for the Celtics, but I said, oh, something good's coming up. And so it's a good thing and it's a bad thing.
I know. Well, Joe's the worst.
Yeah.
You, Joe. How many times think Joe? Timmy and I are streaming it. Stop. Can you just wait before your comments? Because then we're like, oh no.
Unless it's good.
It's good.
Unless it's good, especially like during a
Okay.
Bruins game,
Yeah.
I'll hear like great goal by Marshall, and the other team will be peppering the Boston goalie. I go, oh, something good's coming, a goal's coming for the Bruins,
I'm going to get a prize.
All right, Joe. From now on, you swear only
Well,
good
good
stuff.
stuff. Only good things.
Yeah, bad stuff we know has happened. We
I've
understand.
learned to live with. Sometimes I turn the little beeper off on my phone that tells me when I get a text. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's
So-
what Max made me shut my phone off because those guys. I don't want to hear from those
Ding,
guys.
Ding, ding, ding.
Oh, so you don't have it live anywhere in the house?
No,
Sometimes.
no. But then sometimes I do, and I actually cheated, and I looked at the ESPN app, and I saw that Butler had missed the shot, and then I didn't tell Max,
Oh.
so Max is freaking out. And I
Oh,
had
you were
already
streaming
know-
it with Max.
No, so we're streaming
Oh.
with Max, but I could see.
When he
sometimes.
came dribbling down and you could tell he was going to launch it.
Oh my
I
God.
thought that shot was in. It's I played
It
out
looked good.
I played out the
Yeah.
last 15 seconds in my head. Smart gets it, he turns it over, or Tatum tries to ISO and a step back three. We all know what happens when that happens.
I was so glad when Al corralled that last
Oh
one,
my
though.
God. And they had a fight for that rebound. It wasn't just a given.
Yeah.
That was the most pain I've ever been, the most pissed off I've ever been with a big victory in Boston.
I had the
sports.
same feeling at the Milwaukee game where we missed the rebound on the free throw. It was that
Oh.
same, 13-point lead, 10-point lead, 7, 4, 1. We're losing.
Well, Marcus went insane in that game. He just went insane.
Yeah, no, yeah,
He choked and choked and choked.
Yeah.
Somebody,
The only threes he hits are the ones when you're saying, "Oh no, don't take this shot." Those go
the
in.
24-second
Yeah.
clock is
Oh.
run down. He throws it like
He's 100%.
Yeah.
With that.
Yeah.
When he just heaves it up like
When you're
that-
saying, "Oh, he's wide open, take the shot," he misses every time.
from half court when the buzzer.
They have to have a rule. He's not allowed to shoot in the last 2 minutes.
Timmy,
He's
Joe.
allowed. He would have been fine. I don't know if I told you with this. If every time he took those three, they weren't covering him. They backed off as far as they could.
Because that's what they want him to do.
All he's got to do is dribble up and take the 3-foot bunny, take the
Which
layup.
he's good at.
Or get
Yeah.
fouled. And he would have scored every single time on those one. That was 5 in a row.
You wonder if the Miami coach said, beg him to take
Yeah,
a
of
three.
course.
They
That's
know
a
he's
defensive strategy.
They know he's a choking dog right now, and he can't shoot anyways.
And I
usually.
got to give the guy a little something. I'm shocked he's even playing after that ankle, what he did to his ankle.
No, I'm sure. Oh, absolutely.
I mean, the guy's I'm never going to give up on my love for Marcus. I don't
But
care what
Marcus
happens. I
is
love the
fine
guy.
for the first 47 minutes.
Yeah.
It's Marcus at the end. He loses his mind.
But he's Joe. How does he end up with the ball in his hands when that clock expires?
because he's
wanted to.
open. He's wide open.
That's the whole defensive strategy. Have Bill Belichick get the worst guy the ball all the time, and he'll shoot it.
Yeah. If that, I'm not going to let Tatum and Brown beat us. I'm going to make Marcus Smart beat
Marcus
us.
could have beat them so easy, but he's not thinking right now. He's like a batter in a bad slump. He's not thinking right now. At the end of games, he just loses his mind. He could have dribbled up and scored every single one of those times that he clanked him, right?
Yeah.
He would have had
I have deep love for the guy.
Yeah.
No, but what we saw, look, the Marcus from January until recently was incredible. We saw in that play, the final play against the Nets, where he normally would have taken the
Yes.
He
shot,
was scared to
and
death.
he dished it off.
Yeah.
And Tatum
And there was
scored
another one on top of that where he made a pass in another big game too,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
That he would have taken every time, and he passed it, and we made
the
the
one to
shot.
Jalen Brown.
The one to
again,
Jalen Brown,
in the
which
corner.
the old Marcus would have
Yeah.
taken that shot. So he seems to have forgotten that he has temporary insanity, like you're saying, Joe.
Well, that's what it's all of a sudden, and the teams have noticed it. You could tell that Miami.
You know
had,
what I equate
knew it.
Marcus to? One of the greatest things that ever happened to me, I was like 11 years old, and I got caught stealing like an 8-track tape from Zayre's. you
Yeah.
know? I got caught like the first time I tried to steal something.
Yeah.
So
It's
I
always
really
good.
never stole anything again because of the embarrassment. My mother had to come to the store and all
Yeah.
this stuff, right?
We were all embarrassed.
Now, if I had to, if I got away with that 10 times, maybe I would have become a career thief. I don't know. But, like, the worst thing that can happen to Marcus is he hits his first couple of threes.
Yeah.
Now he thinks he's a three-point shooter. Like, the best thing that can happen to Marcus is he misses his first 2 threes, and he's like, okay, I better pass the ball, you know?
Well, normally him getting the ball with no one covering him, that's the right thing to do. Shoot it.
Anybody else.
But he shouldn't realize that, hey, look, this ain't my game. Let me dribble up here and either get the free throws or a layup.
Well, after he missed the first 2,
Yeah.
then how about the third?
I
then
think
the
everyone on the
fourth.
bench was screaming at him, drive. Because they
Look-
were laying out the red carpet for him to drive right down the lane.
Foul, if anything. I
Yeah.
mean, he hit those big 2 free threes. Those
Yeah,
were gigantic. Those were huge. Thank
and
God
he
Jalen
always
Brown
does.
wasn't at the line for those.
And he always does, too. Always
He has
hits the
to.
big free
Look,
throws.
he's got to be constantly reminded by Udoka and the staff not to pull the Marcus shit that we
Yeah.
hate so bad. The fact is that we could be sitting here, if Butler makes that shot, we're sitting here, and Marcus Smart, will you agree with me? Marcus Smart is the most hated athlete in this town.
Yeah.
Loved and hated.
He would have
It's a
taken over
love-hate thing.
for the first baseman there, Bill Buckner.
Right.
That would have been the new Bill Buckner.
Worse than Bill Buckner.
Yeah.
That would have been the greatest collapse in the history of Boston sports.
Oh, if they had lost that game, yeah,
13
because that
point
was
lead
game.
with 3 to
That
go,
was
2 to
game
go.
7.
Yeah. Right.
That was game
Game
7.
7.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The worst ever?
With the team, this team has the potential to win it all. I mean, it's a coin flip who's going to win this thing. The finals. But
Yeah.
this team has
No, they're in
the
there.
ability. It's not like we played the Nets last year and it was a blowout. Like we've the last
Or
what,
Milwaukee the year
the
before
last few years we've
blowout.
gone into series. We knew we had no chance. You know
No,
what I
no,
mean?
this is greater than
This is like
Fox's-
legit.
A
This
fighter's
is legit,
chance.
a
Yeah.
fighter's chance. Absolutely.
More than that.
Yeah.
Well, before we continue with the Celtics, what did you steal at Zayre's?
I stole. I
An
think it
8-track
was a
tape.
Seals and Crofts 8-track.
Oh,
poor,
my God.
Terrible. Poor taste. Oh.
Seals and Croft. Really? You
Oh, hate them.
Oh, I love them when I was there.
How do you hate Seals and Crofts?
Summer
But
breeze
Diamond Girl. listen.
makes me feel fine.
Oh, you even knew his
Yeah.
song.
Oh yeah.
you
I got two guys that look like criminals came up to me as I was walking out the door. And they go, "Hey, come with us. I'm like, oh, yeah. They're like security. I'm like, oh. I was so embarrassed when my mother came out.
should've run.
I was a
You
good
could
little,
outrun them, Timmy.
Latin school boy too. I was a good boy.
Did they question your choice in music too?
No, they didn't.
That's the thing
Seals
about
and
it.
crops.
There is no more lovely of a human being in this planet than Uncle Joe. None. But then you just come out like, I hate seals and crops. I mean,
But you like the wimpiest music. I mean, wimpy.
Guns
all
N'
kind of
Roses,
music.
Joe?
Are you going to start ragging on Bee Gees?
No, I wasn't a metal guy.
You're
What?
going to start ragging on the Bee Gees?
The Beach
Yeah,
Boys?
the
Beach
Bee.
Boys?
Yeah, I'll
Oh,
take the
yeah,
Beach
stop.
Boys,
Bee
but the
Gees
Bee
is one of the
Gees.
best.
I was listening to the Bee Gees
I
today.
owned
I said-
one Bee Gees
I told
record.
Alexa to play the Bee Gees greatest hits today.
I liked the early Bee Gees, and then when they
something
became
from the Bee Gees.
They
I
weren't
liked
hot
the
then.
psychedelic Bee Gees, and then when they became the disco Bee Gees, I didn't like them.
All right,
That's
okay.
good.
All right, so the key to the series.
Wait.
is-
Can we talk about Jaylen Brown's 2 missed free throws for a bit here?
Oh, in game.
That was
Yep.
the game.
6.
That turned
Yeah.
the tide.
Yep.
That was like, we are going down. That was like a gift. Here
Because we
go.
were up by 3 we finally got up with like 4.5 minutes left.
We
Well,
battled
just
back.
give us one of them, just one of them. And
Yeah.
We battled back.
Yeah.
2 minutes. Jaylen Brown has to take 1 million free. That's his assignment for this summer. 1 million free throws.
Well, we didn't battle back. D. White battled back.
Yeah.
Holy.
Well, him and Brown too. Because
He's-
remember, Brown brought him within one
Yeah.
the time before.
So D. White or Marcus Smart the last 2 minutes. Who do you want on the court?
D. White, no question.
T. White.
No question.
But it all depends on if you who's taking the ball out of bounds. Because there's timeout. If you're on defense, I want Marcus on
Yeah.
the floor. If you're bringing the ball in, I want White on the floor. He's steadier. He's got a more level head as to who should get the ball and where.
What's up with Jaylen Brown's handle these days?
Oh, what handle?
I know.
Well,
What
the
is
problem
deal
is
here?
that Marcus can't penetrate the defense. He can, but he's afraid to or something. And so it falls to someone to penetrate that defense. Tatum is usually kind of non-committal in the first half, would you say?
Yeah.
The second half, he'll drive to the hoop and stuff. So it just kind of falls to Jalen to have to do it, and he
Have you
can't
ever
do it.
seen a star in this league get his pocket picked more times than Jaylen Brown?
he shouldn't be putting the ball on the floor like he does and
Is
going
his dribble
to
too high?
Too
He's
much.
just
Too
not a
much.
good dribbler.
Too much. He just keeps go. He goes 1 or 2 dribbles too many.
His deficiencies to me have really come out. I never really realized what a bad handle he has and what a poor free throw shooter he is.
No, actually, he's improved his free throw
No,
shooting
I mean,
from.
no.
Yeah, he's
terrible.
around
Maybe I haven't noticed
Yeah.
as
He had
much.
the
You know,
yips, if I
this
remember
this
last
really
year,
is-
right?
This is when you really get to know, like, you're watching every second of every game. You know,
But
maybe I
to
haven't
me,
been as
every
attentive
free-
as I should have
Every
been.
shot means everything.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
So in a regular season game, what do you care if he?
I
misses?
never noticed how
Yeah,
much.
every
and
point.
now, you know, the word's out on him. You can pick his pocket, you know.
And
Yeah.
Marcus is a better free throw shooter than D. White.
Yeah.
I,
I'll take
I-
Marcus.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I
I'll
don't
take
know.
Marcus at the
Yeah.
line.
I'll take Marcus at the line at the end of the game. He's a
Yeah.
good free throw
I
shooter.
mean, Tatum's my number one choice, but
yeah.
But D. White, that was the thing, is that D. White was no offense. He was terrible.
He won't
and
shoot.
all of
He
a
refuses
sudden,
to shoot. Which might be a good thing.
When he came over, his shooting has been terrible.
yeah.
But
Until-
he seems to have recovered it. He's been hitting.
He's afraid to shoot. He reminds me a little of Rondo. Remember
he,
Rondo?
4 for 4 from 3 the other night.
Yeah,
he
he
was
was hot.
fantastic
Yeah,
last two
yeah.
games.
But I
Fantastic.
mean, remember Rondo just would not shoot because he knew he couldn't shoot.
Well,
you know?
Rondo couldn't shoot anything more than 10 feet.
Yeah.
yeah, oh yeah.
I see a little of Rondo and D. White. He's like the shots there is like I better not take. I think he kind of knows himself. He plays within his limitations.
He has doubts sometimes, and when
Yeah.
he shouldn't, he should. Sometimes he should take the shot, and he goes and he passes it up, and he gives it to
I mean,
someone
you
else
have
who
to
has a
shoot
less
once in a
shot.
while. You have to throw a little fear into them. You have to. The threat of you shooting has to be there.
Okay, if I was going to ask Adoka, I'd ask Adoka 2 questions right now. What's more taxing on a team? Playing a physical team or playing a fast break team? What do you guys think? What's more physically taxing? To be playing a team that's,
Run,
physical,
run.
or a run team?
Run and shoot versus.
Leaning on you, leaning your body on you, playing a Milwaukee.
It's got to be the physical game.
You would think
the
so,
grind
right?
it out. The grind it out. I mean, these guys they have stamina.
They're huge men.
Yeah, they
so
know
leaning
how.
on top of
Yeah.
it. Yeah. So would you agree? So Joe says
I think it depends on the opponent. You know what I mean? Like, do I want Embiid? I mean, he's just bigger and stronger than
but
everybody
he plays it.
we have.
He doesn't lean on you.
He plays outside.
Yeah, he plays outside, so he doesn't lean on you. And my point is that they've had 2 exhausting physical series. In Milwaukee
Now this is going to
and
be
Miami.
different.
This
This
is
is
a
way
completely
different.
Giannis was just a physical freak. I mean,
Yeah.
that was just a had to be-
Lopez.
I mean, what do you call it? Grant Williams' chest, they said, must have had bruises in it from Giannis's shoulder just smacking against it.
Portis, and then with Butler, Lowry's very physical. Now you're in a series where it's a fast break team, like you said, run. Will they
Run and
go?
shoot.
So the bench. Obviously, we know the starting 5. The bench is Grant Williams, D. White, and okay. So now we got 7.
Well,
so
then we
everyone-
got Pritchard.
No, but they're going.
They go 10 and 11 deep.
No, the last 2 games he was 7 deep. Pritchard hardly played.
No, I mean Golden State
Yeah,
goes
but
10,
right.
11 deep.
Now this
Really?
is the issue. Pritchard's going to play more in this series. Would you agree?
Yes. This is more his style, yes.
Run and shoot.
Better matchup.
Going to be a
better-
higher offensive game. It's going to be
what
about
they
one.
gotta
You
do-
figured 110, 120, right?
In this one, the big men have to get back because Golden State's whole game is that easy basket, Draymond at the top, hit the cutters. They cut
Yeah.
they're cutting all the time, getting the easy layups.
Yeah.
And the big men got to get back and stop that.
Okay, so you got Grant's going to play now. In this kind of series, does Grant play less or more?
More. Because he can play little and big.
Okay, so it's Grant, right?
Grant's quickness, will
It's
that come into question?
Well, if he's trying to cover Steph, yes, but
Yeah, he'll try to. I see
Clay
Draymond
Thompson,
Green.
yeah, and bodying up on Draymond,
Looney.
yeah.
I got to give it. I got to interject here. I got to give it to Grant Williams. I wanted him out of the team. I couldn't even fathom that he was playing in the NBA 5 months ago.
Yeah, but this series he didn't look good. He just didn't look
But
good
he's
against
not
Miami.
that guy who I said doesn't belong in the league. I mean,
Not anymore.
No,
not anymore.
but he did a fine job. Gave his 6 fouls in his life against Giannis.
Kind
and
of
the
won a
Bucks.
game for them one game.
Yeah,
7th game,
Yeah.
Milwaukee.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
won the game for him. He was
and
Kelly
then
Olynyk.
and
Yeah.
then against Miami, he couldn't do anything. Guys match up.
Butler's a tough matchup. For
Oh,
everybody.
impossible.
I would say Butler was
he's
more
fast.
difficult for Grant Williams than Giannis. In some way.
Oh well, he scored more, just as much,
Better
if not
shooter.
more.
Better-
No, as far
better-
as Grant goes.
Yeah,
Better shooter than Giannis.
but Butler doesn't shoot so much from the outside. He's a lot like Giannis in that. 90% of his points come from
Butler,
drives.
what a
and-
shot creator, my God.
Oh my God, the guy's money from 8 in, right?
Yeah.
8 in,
Why is
just
he?
doesn't-
You know, you guys have told
And
me.
he always gets the N one.
He doesn't
Oh, yeah.
get along wherever he goes. He's disruptive with his teammates and his
Yeah.
coaches or whatever. But boy, what a player that guy's.
Yeah.
Why he doesn't get a lot of cred really in the league though?
All right, so Grant Williams, D. White, Pritchard. So now we're going 8 deep. I think.
Where's it
like
going
Tice,
to that?
Tice will be
Tice, I
playing
think
a lot.
Tice, yeah.
Tice was not playing Miami
He
series
didn't
because
play
of Bam.
DNP. He didn't even play at all.
No, because of Bam.
Yeah.
That was because of 2 years ago in the bubble. Bam just ate Tice up. Okay, but so we can agree that Tice plays more.
Well, Tice is quick.
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
runs
for his
the floor
size, he's
well.
a rather quick
Yeah.
guy.
And
you know?
he'll get
so if you're
back-
not going against just a physically opposing specimen like Bam,
Yeah.
you know, he might have a chance.
Okay, so now we're 9 deep. Now the big
That's
question
it.
is,
That's it.
does
That's it. I
Neesmith-
don't even know who else is on the
Neesmith-
team.
Smith comes in if
Will-
they're in foul. Someone's in foul
Okay,
trouble.
so you're not
That's
going
it.
to try to, as you say, Joe. He's not going to try to steal minutes when he's
No.
Unless he-
Tatum's going to have to play at least 4. Tatum and Brown had to play at least 42 minutes. Smart.
You know what's
40.
bizarre? There are guys who come in at garbage time for the Celtics. I don't even know who they are.
No, I know.
I don't even
He
know who
falls
they
off-
are.
He falls off a little bit.
Yeah.
I would disagree with you. I don't think Marcus is going to play 40 with D. White around. No, I don't think so.
No, all they do is push him over to the off guard. He doesn't handle the ball,
The guy,
which is, I think, their best offense.
look, the team. I know the whole plus and minus, though I haven't looked. When Al's not on the court, it seems like things don't go well. Al has been the perfect basketball player.
And he plays fine defense against real good opponents. in these playoffs. I mean, starting with KD and Giannis.
So what's your best five out there right now against Golden State? What do you think
Well, I
is
mean,
our
it's a-
best five
it's a
out
start.
there?
Oh, they need a healthy Rob.
Well,
With
the
a
two
healthy
J-
Rob,
yeah.
they win.
So
easily.
Rob
Jays.
and Allen, the two Jays, and White
Marcus.
Marcus.
or Marcus.
And Marcus. I mean,
Marcus, that's my starting five.
Starting
and
five, yeah.
and White's a great. If you need more defense, you put White in sometimes and put Marcus the off guard. Need more offense, you take Marcus out and put White in.
D. White will go down as the best in-season acquisition by the Celtics in the history. And I loved P.J. Brown and all that
Yes.
stuff, and that was very cute and stuff. But
But
D.
they
White is
very-
totally.
very-
P.J. Brown was an 8-minute act.
Very much.
Do you remember?
in the gym.
Yeah, I mean, D. White, you don't go anywhere.
Well, he's playing 20, 30 minutes a game now.
You know,
What
we've
a
all
pick.
been on teams where this, like what you see on the court isn't always what's really going on behind
Yeah.
the scenes with the leadership. And like that article you just sent me from Jackie McMullen, Ime Udoka, he was on teams. He was 11th on the depth chart on teams, but he was the leader in the locker room,
Yeah.
they said. Like, people knew to come to him. Like, he didn't have the physical skills, but he knew the game, and he had that innate leadership. There are people that you just naturally follow. And I think White might be one of those guys. How they conduct themselves, how they the air that they walk with,
Well, I
Yeah, that's a
think
great point,
he,
yeah.
and I'm pretty sure Ime asked Brad to get him.
Oh,
that
no
guy.
question.
Yeah.
He'd had him at San Antonio, had him with the USAA team,
With the Jays.
with the Jays.
Just that solid human being,
Yeah.
kind of guy. Like, you look at him and you go, I want to be like that guy. I want to conduct myself like this guy does.
And anyone who ragged on the acquisition of D. White, that's it. You're not allowed to watch the first two games of the finals.
Well, I
That's-
did like
I'm
Josh
punishing you.
Richardson. I did like Jay Rich, but obviously they were getting back a lot more because what did they give up? The first round, couple of first rounds. Jay Rich.
They
and something
acquired
else.
him to trade him at the
Yeah.
deadline. That's what he was
Who
there
was
for.
the other guy we got rid
Schroeder.
of? Schroeder. I was loving Schroeder, but I didn't realize what was going on behind the scenes
Yeah,
with Schroeder.
it just didn't work.
He was a
Schroeder
ball hog.
Schroeder at one point looked pretty good for the Celtics.
The first 2 weeks of the season, the two new acquisitions, Schroeder and Horford, were the stars.
Well, you know what? They
Yeah, Horford
looked like
played
that
well.
shooter that we were missing. His shots were dropping.
Yeah.
So you're saying, oh, I love this guy, and then they stopped dropping, and
Well, they picked the right team at the end.
they kind of got rid of a bad dude and got a good dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Look, Jay
I just
Richardson
think-
was a good player, but D. White fit this system much better.
And if
Would you
Danny
agree?
Yeah,
and if
absolutely.
Danny was still here, Kemba would have been the point
Oh.
guard, and we would have been gone in the first round.
let's quickly talk about Danny.
Danny wouldn't have given up that 28th pick in the
No,
draft.
no.
no,
he
no,
He held
kidding
on
me?
to it like a bar of gold.
He keeps 4 second-round picks some years.
Well,
4.
Look, if they win, we can never. All right, would you agree? If they win, we can never.
Well, his
rag on
greatest
Danny
thing
again.
was the.
He's a great draft,
This is
though.
all a culmination of the Garnett Pierce trade.
Well,
you
Brown,
Yeah.
the two Jays.
Yeah.
I mean, but we can't rag on Danny ever again if they win. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Are you in on that?
Oh no, yeah, I'm not
Rag
going to
on
rag
who?
on Danny.
Danny.
Danny did a fine job. He just got a little,
like
tired.
us all, we do some things right in our life, and we do some things wrong in our life. I mean, getting Tatum, that swindle from Philadelphia.
Well, it really
I
wasn't
mean-
a swindle. That's the irony is they drafted Romeo Langford with the extra pick. So it's not like,
But getting Tatum out of that
Oh,
deal.
that's who went
no,
with
but they
Josh
had the number
Richardson
one
for
pick.
White.
They traded it.
I know, but the way it all worked out, you know what I mean? I
No,
mean,
but I understand.
I know we
what
could
you're
have,
saying,
yeah.
But
You could have drafted Tatum first.
It's only an incredible deal if
you
you
get something.
if you
got
got something else that first round.
You
pick,
didn't
yeah.
get you like okay, and then you also got this.
Yeah.
He got a guy that was an absolute
Well,
stiff.
let's see the fact that he knew to pick Pierce.
That he knew to
fact
pick
that he
Tatum.
knew to-
Ultimately,
Yeah.
yeah.
To
I mean,
to pick Tatum.
Yeah.
Rather than
the fact that he knew.
because everyone
Yeah.
else said pick Markel Fultz.
Right.
Yeah, faulted and Ball. I mean, that was everyone had.
No, well,
Pierce
see, that was
doing.
the
They
thing.
were
The
willing
Lakers,
to give the Lakers were going to almost had to take
no,
the
but that
ball.
was it. The Lakers showed their hand.
I don't want to change the subject. How the hell did they have Markel Fultz?
Everyone did.
Everyone did.
How? I mean, have you ever seen the guy shoot? He shoots like he's a
Yeah.
schoolyard from here. His teams never were above 500.
But since he was in junior high, everyone said this is going to be the
But
number
how do you
one
pick
pick.
a guy whose team? Like, look at Larry Bird. Took his Indiana State to the final game. I mean, Magic Johnson, took Michigan State to the championship. the first round pick, I mean, at least has to have his team contending for the championship. If you're that good, if you're going to be that good. Fultz did nothing in college.
No, but Joe's right. Remember, this has nothing to do with that first year in college. It has to do with all the AAU tournaments and all this stuff.
They're drafting these kids at 18.
But I'll tell you what, I saw this guy shooting in highlights before the draft, and I said he stinks. I said to myself, I knew it.
John Moran only got out of the first round of the NCAA tournament. Look what he turned into.
Yeah, right. It's always absolutely. Who is that? Handsome
Todd.
Todd.
But I knew Fultz stunk just from watching him shoot. I don't know how the NBA had him so propped up.
Look,
it wasn't just one or two guys. It was everyone.
No, because remember, back then, 4 or 5 years ago, it was all about the point guard. You wanted to get your next superstar point guard, and so they kind of caught that wave. And look,
and Ball,
but
another point guard.
It's a 3-point league. You got to have a guy who can hit threes. You have to.
Look, they knew who they were going to pick. If Jason Tatum was the number one pick,
those guys played. They all played their hand.
Danny wanted Jason Tatum. It was that
if he thought someone else was going to get picked third, he would have taken the fourth pick and still taken Tatum and gotten another pick.
Shame on LA and shame on Philly for showing
everyone, like Joe said, everyone knew he was going to take Lonzo Ball.
It was almost the Lakers would have lost their entire season ticket base without. It was every Lakers fan wanted
UCLA,
Ball.
Right?
Every Lakers fan wanted Ball, and that's all they wanted. They didn't want to hear another name.
Yeah, that was it.
The old man propped him up, and
it could have worked out.
Well, 2 of the 3 Balls are really good players, all-star level players now.
Hey, I remember, I'm old enough to remember when Jaylen Brown got drafted third on this show. No. We ripped that bad.
Really?
Yeah, because he came out, he was just an athlete, not much of a shooter.
And if you look at that draft, no one else in the first round was any good.
Except Jaylen Brown?
Yeah. No one after him, you would say, they should have picked this guy instead. You know who in
Who's
that
the number one pick in that draft?
I forget, but you know who number 41 is?
Who?
Nikola Jokic.
Oh,
really?
All right, Todd,
That's
look that
how
up.
far they went.
Who was number one pick in the? Wait, wasn't Buddy Hield in that draft?
Yes, he was. Buddy Hield was.
Buddy Hield's a good player.
He's not as good as Jalen.
No, he's not. But I like Buddy Hield.
Brown's athleticism does jump out of you, though. That quick twitch muscles he
Chris
has.
Dunn was in that draft.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted Chris Dunn too.
You wanted Buddy Hield, though.
I wanted Buddy Hield. I want Buddy Hield now after this season. Would he be a nice fit?
Yeah, but I don't think Wick will pay for it.
Oh, my God. I love Buddy Hield. He's a shooter. We need another shooter.
Well, they've gotten a lot of extra home games. 2, 5, 2.
Oh, my God.
6,
do you remember?
9 already. So they're guaranteed 11 extra home dates already.
So
8. Because we swept Brooklyn.
2.
And then 3.
4 and
4, right.
6
right.
and 3, 9.
Right.
So they're guaranteed at least 11 extra home dates.
Ben Simmons first, Brandon Ingram second.
Oh, Ingram's a hell of a player.
Yeah.
Would you take Ingram over Jaylen Brown?
Different
Not today.
kinds of players.
Not today.
different players.
He's a hell of a player, though.
Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
I just think
agree.
he was on the Lakers and they traded him.
Yeah.
There are times when Brown's unstoppable. I mean, that's pretty good when you have a guy who, when he's in his zone, is unstoppable.
Well, he's a great
Absolutely.
size for what he does because he's big, and so he's great defensively. He'll shut down
So
another
you kind
guy.
of see, and you were bashing me, Scotty. You know, would you say
I would never bash
Would you
Timmy.
say don't? Because I was saying we need a big, strong guy, and you were saying that's not the NBA now. It's the Browns, it's the Tatums, those 6'6" to 6'9" guys who can run and shoot threes, right?
That's the game.
But Tatum's a big wing at 6'10",
Huge.
6'11".
Yeah.
Brown's a big guy at his size.
I was begging for a big giant center, you know, because we
Yeah.
were getting destroyed by Embiid at the time, you know, and we had nobody that could match up with him.
He's one of a kind. Him and Giannis are just the two biggest and baddest.
Now, would you say Time Lord's that guy now?
No,
They're
never
different
will
players.
be.
Yeah.
No. Against Embiid,
He
doesn't
never will be. He's
Nobody stands a chance with Embiid.
the Time Lord just is kind of like the weak sister compared
Do
to
you think
those
we
guys.
can throw 20, 30 pounds
He's a-
on him?
Williams, I don't know.
I
I
don't
mean,
know, he wouldn't be-
Tatum bulked up.
Yeah, but Rob's game is jumping through the roof. He's a jumper.
Yeah.
He can and uses those long arms, and That's probably his
There was
biggest
that one
problem.
stretch where he was altering the shots. for
Of
the Heat.
even someone like
Remember that one
Giannis.
game? It was like a 5-minute stretch where he was just altering every
Well,
shot.
that's what we hope he does.
Yeah.
But
Because Curry's small.
Yeah. I mean, he goes up there, he's hard
he
to
did
shoot
that
over.
to KD. Remember
Yeah.
KD
He
at 7
could
foot.
be the hardest guy in the league to shoot over.
But he's fragile.
He's
He is fragile.
so
But when he goes straight up, boy, he's up there.
because he's elevating so high, he brings that
7 foot-
200 and something pounds down. Boom.
7'6" arm length, right? That's
Yeah.
what they have him at, right?
I don't think Udoka's in love with him. And I don't think, of course, Brad Stevens wasn't in love with
Yeah,
him.
Udoka doesn't think twice about not playing.
He's saying he
Doesn't
put him
think
on a
twice.
minute restriction. What? Game 7 and 6, he's got a minute restriction? That's just smoke.
But when
He doesn't-
he's on, is there a better defender? I don't know if there is.
Well, for what he does, he can't defend someone straight up. That's his problem. That's why they have him lay back.
Yeah.
And protect everyone can cheat into him,
So he's
and
got
then he'll
that.
clean up.
He's got that 8-foot perimeter around the
Yeah.
net, and
But he's
that's
only a
his
good
area.
blocker if he blocks the shot and that's a turnover. You know, if he's
Well,
blocking
he's
a shot
altering.
into
He's
the
altering
sixth row,
shots, though, Scott.
Well,
he's not
you
just
know,
blocking.
it
He's
does
altering.
serve a purpose. Even if he blocks it out of bounds or blocks it back to a defender, next time Jimmy Butler comes down the way, he's got to shoot up a little higher,
Yeah.
give it more trajectory.
Oh, I
that
agree.
makes it higher.
He won that Toronto series, him and Tice, that Toronto series 2 years ago, solely based on that.
Yeah.
I mean, he was altering shots. He was altering a lot of
Yeah,
shots.
it makes people, think differently and work
It
differently.
makes you a little braver on the perimeter. With if they do blow by you, you got a shot blocker back there.
But
Yeah,
you need Rob
I
Williams
agree.
in the court for 25 minutes.
In this series especially, he'd be invaluable. 'Cause his speed, he's so fast up and down the court.
Yeah.
I really like the
But
way
he-
he gets
he's
back
very
on
athletic.
defense.
He's
Yeah.
a wreck offensively.
Oh yeah. Well,
He was really bad those last 2 games.
You get him cut into the basket for that dunk. Now that in itself opens up a whole new set because now they know they can't cheat out onto the perimeter.
Okay, we got to.
He's fun to watch for guys.
He is, and he is entertaining. You got to
He's
give
very
him that.
I've been at the Celtics games, and he's just been entertaining.
And if they could have the Rob that was mid-season Rob, in that kind of physical shape, 5 games. Give Golden State
All
the
right,
first
all right.
game in 4.
Look, I think it's a changing of the guard. I really do.
This seems to be the year, Scotty.
I think that the Celtics have always played the Warriors tough.
Yes.
I think that the only thing that will stop the Celtics from winning their 18th banner is simply
The
the
Celtics.
referees.
No?
You know what
That
I
is
think
gonna
this
be
year?
it.
You know what this year is like? You said changing in the guard. I think that this might steer the NBA away from the super team thing. You know, it was like, oh, I want to play with this superstar. You know,
Well, it's always just
what
been
do you call
LeBron
it?
to
I mean,
me.
the Celtics kind of started it by bringing in, but we traded for those guys. It wasn't free agents saying I want to play here. LeBron started the whole thing, and then KD did it going to Golden State, and all of a sudden it was like, then KD did it with the Nets. You know what I mean? It's like the tail wagging the dog. It's like
Championship surfing. Yeah.
Yes, championship surfing, and we don't like that. We want teams to hate each other. We were brought up with, Larry Bird fighting Julius Erving and people hate and DJ hating anyone he played against, And now all of a sudden it's buddy and all hugging it out after the game.
But it wasn't with that in Milwaukee.
Oh, it wasn't
in
at
the
all.
Heat
It
series.
wasn't, and I like that. So now I like it that it's not going to be the team who was able to stack up the most superstars wins the thing. It's like it's a little
Yeah.
bit of a changing of the guard because that's kind of what it's been.
And on that same note, the karma turning around, KD left the Warriors and he's watching them play, and Kyrie left the Celtics, and he's sitting at home watching the Celtics play Golden
Horford,
State.
who's the guy from Philly there with the beard?
Harden.
Harden. He's been part
Yeah,
of that
right,
too.
that's a great point,
James
yeah.
Harden's been one of those guys, championship surfing.
Wetting the
looking,
finger.
Yeah, looking for my who's got the best team. I'm going to jump on with them. He was
Yeah.
in that elite group, that you thought could bring you. If I get enough James Hardens, that's a championship team, and that's proving to be a
And his
failed
time
mix.
seems to have passed now.
Harden's done.
Yeah, his time's
done.
gone.
Yeah, well,
Hey, can we talk about Kyrie and New Jersey not offering him a max contract? Which, like, that brought the
wasn't
biggest
that-
smile
I-
to my
I-
face.
we're reading that. When I heard the GM say, he's not in our plans, I said, "Oh, Tim must be in his glory."
God, I loved it. I couldn't watch enough Stephen A. Smith clips about, don't give him an extended contract. Thank God they stepped up, New Jersey. I'm giving the owners of New Jersey a lot of credit.
They
hey.
saw it. They have a TV too.
Because they got a lot of fans that love Kyrie. That season ticket holders
Oh, of course,
that
because
love
he's
Kyrie.
he's a name
and
brand.
they had
He's a
enough
name
balls
brand,
to do
Joe.
it. Yeah.
But you pay for your season tickets. I don't know, maybe $15,000 for 2 seats down there.
And he only
And
shows
you go
up
into
every
the
third
game,
game.
he's not there. He's
Yeah.
We
not
did
playing.
that with the Celtics too.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, it is pretty clear when we take a step back, the Eastern Conference was much better. If you watch these playoffs,
Oh, yeah.
they're much better teams than the Western Conference.
Dallas looked thin.
Terrible.
Well, I'll tell you something. Being retired, the one good thing is I could stay up this year for all the West Coast games. And there's one thing that struck me with every West Coast teams. They were shocked by the defense, the Eastern Division teams, the Celtics especially I watched, were throwing at them. It was like the first quarters. What the heck is going
I
on?
know.
Why are these
Memphis.
teams?
Lay off, brother. Lay off. We're in the
Yeah.
regular
Yeah.
season.
Take
Come on,
it
man.
easy.
Take it
Take
easy.
it
Memphis almost
easy.
quit after the first quarter against the Celtics. They're like, you're not supposed to do that. Didn't you guys?
It's a regular season.
Denver, all of them the same way.
Look, we'll do predictions.
Portland.
We'll do predictions. Let's
Oh,
start.
wait a minute. First, we have to give the professor's prediction,
Okay, let's-
which shocked me. He's usually the most conservative, and he says the Celtics in 6.
Celtics in 6. That's the
Now,
professor.
I picked against the Celtics last
And
year,
now wait,
didn't I?
Todd has us because we'll have game 1, 2, and 3 before next week's show. So whoever we have to predict the first 3 games to, and whoever gets that wrong will win the Jimmy G shirt. Is that correct, Todd?
Someone has never won. Somebody has never won the
Number 10,
Jimmy G shirt.
and not
Some-
Mac Jones.
Somebody was supposed to wear the Jimmy G shirt.
I don't
and
know who
never wore
that
it.
somebody is, but
1 and 2 before.
game 1 and 2. So we'll have to pick
Yeah.
those 2 games too, and anyone who has the wrong completely. All right, Joe.
Oh, okay, a split on the first 2.
Okay.
And I'm going to go, when the professor is that optimistic, I got to go with the Celtics in 6.
Now is this 2-3-2?
No, 2-2-1-1-1, same as they've been doing.
You sure?
That's
Todd, is
it,
that
yeah.
is it 2-3-2 or 2-2?
2-2-1-1-1.
It is. Oh, okay. You
They
should-
switched away from that 2-3-2 because everyone hated it.
Oh, okay. Because
It's
yeah.
2-2-1-1-1.
They're just like
Yeah.
it has. Okay. All right. So you have him in
6.
6. Timmy.
Now, I picked the Celtics to lose, I believe, against Milwaukee, I think.
Yes, you,
Yes, you did.
and you picked him to win against Miami.
I picked them to win against Miami.
But we know when Timmy picks him to lose.
Timmy loves
he's-
to be the jinx.
He's trying to sacrifice himself and his reputation
Yes.
for the sake of a win.
I'm-
Because that's how superstitious
I'm
he is.
torn with this right now.
What are you
But,
talking about?
Because
So you
I
go
want to
7
go the other
games.
way because I want the Celtics to win so badly.
all
So if I
right.
pick against the Celtics,
No, I just need-
If I pick against
No,
the
no,
Celtics,
no
they'll-
superstitions.
Okay, I'm going to tell you this. I think this is a damn good Celtics team. I think that they are solid. The way they can rotate on defense is like no team I've ever. You want to switch off of me, you're facing Al Horford. You want to switch off of me, you're facing Marcus Smart. You want to switch off of me, you're facing Jalen Williams. I could see the Celtics doing it in 5. I'll say the Celtics in 6. I think Golden State is in for a world of hurt on the physicality that the Celtics are going to show. I'm going to put them kind of like the Nets. Like when we left the Nets, when we then played Milwaukee, it made me see how freaking unphysical and lack of height and lack of physicality and a lot of other things that the Nets didn't have. And I'm going to put Golden State in. I think they're thin. I don't think they're strong.
They're old.
They're old, and I think this is a Celtics team that's young and strong, and depending on the health level, if everyone's healthy, I can see the Celtics doing it in 5 or 6.
I think we're going to know how this series is going to go after game 1. I really do. I think if the Celtics win game 1, I think they'll win in 5 games. I really do.
But I don't think they'll win game 1. That hasn't
know.
been their track
But
record
as
of
this
late.
series goes along, they're going to get worn out, Golden State. They're not. These are older guys. They've all got plenty of dough in the bank. They're not going to want to play a physical 7-game series. They will quit as quick as they can.
No, they're champions. They've been in these finals. This is the 6th time in the
They
last
haven't
10
been in the
years.
finals in what, 4 years? 3-4 years.
And they had Kevin Durant.
Yeah. Look,
Durant got
Celtics-
them over the hump.
Yeah, but that was they had injury problems. Remember, Klay Thompson missed 2 whole
But
years.
Durant he was the MVP. He got them over the hump.
Yeah.
He had to perform
Well, no,
miracles.
they won the championship without him.
Celtics matched up really well against Brooklyn, as we saw. We were afraid of that series. And the fact is that they don't even have a Lopez that could bother us.
Looney.
No, as far as the Nets go.
Lopez was with
Yeah, for the Nets.
Milwaukee.
But also there was a Lopez on the Nets too, right? Who's that big guy?
Looney.
On the Nets, though.
On the Nets,
Didn't they really have anyone
Okay.
big inside?
they had
did they?
Lopez.
I thought they had
Lopez on Milwaukee,
I thought,
right?
Didn't they have the other Lopez?
I don't know. I forget. Look, the Celtics are going to win the series. There's
Oh,
no-
Drummond.
Drummond.
was-
The
Drummond,
Celtics
yeah.
are going to win
He was
this series.
ineffective.
They are going to win this series. There's no question. And guys like Curry and Green, they got paid already, and they're old. These guys are old, and in basketball, there's a changing of the guard.
Well, and Draymond, he's an MVP type
Never
player.
kills the Celtics in games. You never even know him. He's around.
we have
but
we have
they
our
never
way with
played
them?
a serious game against
Did
him.
we have our way with them this year when we played?
We wiped
No,
them out.
1-1.
We wiped them out in Golden State.
And they lost here.
Yeah. And
unless Kyrie not Kyrie, unless
But Horford
Curry, unless Curry just goes into one of those unconscious states.
well, he's going
He's
to
a
have one
great
game
shooter.
like that. He's
Where
going to
he's
have one
just-
game.
You've seen him when he's
Yeah.
unconscious and everything. He's throwing up,
10
40
feet behind the
footers.
line, and he's still draining
Yeah,
them.
just drain him. I mean, if he does that, God bless him.
Yeah.
You deserve it.
One
But
game.
Tip
But
the
he's
hat
going to have to
and-
have that going. And I don't know how much anyone can do that.
Look, Celtics defend the perimeter really well. They do that a really good job.
But he
of that.
doesn't mind having a hand in his face that I've ever seen. At the time Golden State beat the Celtics this year, Horford was missing and someone else was missing because of COVID. It was back at the beginning of the year, and they were missing
They lost by
Steph.
4 or something.
And they were missing by Steph and someone else too. Pritchard was out too.
Rob neutralizes Curry's ability to drive to the basket.
Well, they get so many easy points on layups.
Yeah.
Draymond sits there dealing, Clay and them, they cut, they drive to the basket 100 different ways without the ball. They get the pass and lay it in.
The Celtics have seemed to make adjustments. I mean, I was at the first game against Milwaukee.
Hmm.
It was such a physically different team than the Nets were. I
Yeah,
just
they were
remember
shocked.
Lopez looked like he was 12 feet tall. Giannis was just a freak
bull.
in there. You know what I mean? The Celtics adjusted. They said, you know
that's
what?
Udoka.
This isn't working. It worked against the Nets, so the Celtics went back to doing what they did against the Nets, and it was very effective. Udoka said, "Hey, we got to change the game plan here," and they started making multiple passes and hitting the threes.
Look, I'm very excited because I think this is, obviously the Patriots never matched up well with the Giants. No matter what kind of teams the Giants had, their system was better than our system. The Celtics, would you agree that they're a really good matchup against Golden State?
Over the last, say, 10 years, they've had their way. Remember, they stopped that huge, 70 games in a row Golden State had won at home. The Celtics broke that. They broke another, 21-game winning streak that Golden State had.
Yeah, we're the Giants to the Patriots kind of thing.
And how good of a spot is this? Look at the age of this group. Have we had a team, the Patriots in 01, when they won, when you look at the age of the stars.
Signed up. Now
Signed
all of
up.
a sudden you go, so in the off season you go get yourself a nice veteran, right? To can fit in the rotation. Because again, right? One more
But
guy.
they got to tell these guys, like Tatum, hey, it doesn't come around all the time. Ask Dan Marino. He got in there as a rookie and then never sniffed it again.
no,
if you don't, you got to win when it's presented to you.
Oh,
When the
absolutely,
opportunity's there, you got to take it. Then once you've won, you can rest a little, and you can get there and do it.
Okay, in our lifetime, the championships, how would this rank as the biggest surprise taking into account that in January this team was
Well,
close
last
to
year's
the
Red Sox was right up there. I mean, even though they
No,
didn't
no,
win the
I'm
cha-
talking
no, but
about
they didn't
winning
win
a
the
championship.
championship. But last year's Red Sox took us
Oh,
all
Well,
by
how
surprise.
about the 13 and 18 Red Sox coming from last place? And
13 was a great surprise, but that whole we all believe the whole marathon kind of
Yeah.
drove
That was
that.
a- that was
So
a freak-
13
that
was a
was a
great.
freak
That
show.
was not a great team.
No, and 18 they were in last place the year before.
You know,
No, but
the
18
last
was
time
a
the
great
Celtics won it, we
team.
It was
we
a great
thought,
team,
you know,
I'll
we
give
thought
you.
we were going to win it. We thought we were going to win a few with that group. Actually, injuries. You know, so much has to do with health. You know
Of
what I mean?
course.
Like
Kevin Garnett getting hurt,
relatively,
no none.
McHale got hurt. You know, back then, and you know,
But we always expected the Larry Bird, Kevin McHale Celtics to win a championship. So when they did in 81, 84, and 86, that wasn't a surprise.
yeah, we thought
I'm talking
we
about
thought the Garnett Pierce group was going to win a couple too, but then you know, injuries.
No, I'm talking about the surprise of winning a championship. Now, the 18 Patriots, of course, it had Tom Brady, but that was a pretty crappy team.
That was
Well,
a crappy
maybe
team.
the
Yeah,
11
that was. You're
Yeah.
right, Scotty.
Let's
didn't-
throw the 11 Bruins in there too, because I thought I'd never see the Bruins win anything again in my life.
Yeah,
That
that
team
was-
was physically tough, though. You
That,
know.
that was a good team, and didn't they make the finals 2 years later?
Yeah,
You know,
Chicago
so they-
beat them, right? I was
yeah.
there for that loss. That hurt.
But out of all our championships in our lifetime, I think
Okay,
this
I'll
would
put
be
this
the
with
biggest
the
surprise.
13
Oh, no,
Sox.
0-1,
The 13 Sox, and what do you say?
Pats.
The 18
Oh,
Pats?
I guess, yeah, you're right.
0-1 Pats,
Oh,
it
yeah,
has
you're
to
right.
be,
You're
yeah.
right. Yeah, you're right, because they weren't even very good in the middle of the season. No, you're right. Absolutely, yeah.
And Boston had won a championship in God knows how long.
Oh, my
I just
God.
remember being at that game.
86,
I was
it's
there in New
86.
Orleans, and I was down the other end, and Boston hadn't won anything.
Since
There was
86.
too many men on the ice. There was a roughing the pass, so the ball goes through Buckner's legs, and the referee went like this. And it was like a movie. The clock was fuzzy, and I focused on it. It was 0-0-0 across. And I couldn't react because I was looking for a flag on the field. I said, this doesn't happen to us. There's a flag. We don't win. Like, where's the kick and the you-know-what's coming from now? And it took about 30 seconds for it to sink in that we had won the game.
And that started a competition between all the teams in town for the sports dollar. And they all started to have to win.
So the
To
Bruins,
get
the
get a
Bruins
buck.
are obviously last on the list right now. I mean, they haven't gone far.
Well, back in, say, 07, 08, they were dead last, remember? They were down to only like 4,000 season ticket holders, weren't they?
Bruins, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were down to
Oh, is that
nothing.
like a Chara?
No, we traded Thornton.
Yeah.
When they you know what the changing of the guy was when Jacob
when
signed Chara.
Shirelli came,
When Jacob signed Chara, to me as a season ticket holder, you know, that was the greatest investment Jacob's ever made. Boston hockey fans like lemmings. No matter what you put out there, we will just come.
Yeah.
But we were all just. I was fed up. I was really like they were losing me. You lose
Yes.
me as a Bruins fan, like that's bad.
they had hit rock bottom.
He just said they'll keep coming, and I think Jacobs just wouldn't spend any money. He just wouldn't. And then finally they spent some money on Chara, and that was the changing. That made the Bruins relevant.
Yeah,
again.
that was the first thing Shirelli did when he came in, but he kind of spent too much money in the
Well,
salary
the lowest
cap.
point was trading Joe Thornton.
That was bad.
Yeah.
And the young kids knew who Joe Thornton
Thornton-
was. They didn't even know who the Bruins were.
Thornton's still playing, for God's sake.
There's just such a hockey market. There's got to be 8 million kids playing youth hockey in Massachusetts.
All right, so wait. So you have the first two games splitting?
I think
I
we're
have
gonna,
them split.
I got Celtics winning both.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So now I can go split because then that looks like you'll have.
I
the
think the
t-shirt.
world's going to be shocked.
All right.
Oh, he was playing us against each other, Tim.
I know.
the
I was very
whole
trans-
time.
I just said that. All right. So I'm going to have the Celtics win in 6 because I want the Celtics to win at home.
I
That's-
have game 1 and
You have
game
6?
6.
Oh my God, you have it. That's the game.
So I'm giving the tickets to the two boys first game.
Okay, that's good. But
Yeah.
game 6, you have to go.
Then I'm going to see who my best friend in the whole world
Oh,
is
you
today.
have to. If game 6 is a
a
deciding
clincher.
game,
A clincher.
I would
I
imagine
saw my seats for $2,000 on the internet
$2,000 each.
each.
Absolutely. If you get $4,000, watch it on TV.
No,
yeah,
that's a
tell
lifetime
the
of
kids to
memories.
stay home.
No,
Money comes and goes.
Look-
I went to the Celtics' 7th game against the Lakers, and what would that $2,000 mean to me now? mean nothing. I have the
No,
memory.
no.
I remember the
in
memory
eight.
of
That
the.
was the seventh game. I was there too. It was when we won in eight.
We won.
In sixth.
Those games, whatever it was.
Yeah.
We won the championship.
Best.
3/4 of the Celtics fans chanting at Kobe Bryant. No means no.
That was magical.
Because we had a 30-point lead after a quarter or something,
it was
right?
the best.
It was 3/4 of just taunting
That
the
was
Lakers.
a boat race.
That was the best clinching game ever.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're right.
Because there was
The
no
second
nervousness
half was
involved.
a joke.
And they were throwing stuff up, off balance.
Yeah.
There's
Everything
never
was
a
going
moment
in.
you were nervous they were going to lose.
No,
There wasn't.
no.
After the first quarter was over,
It
the,
was a
the
coronation.
game was in hand.
It was a coronation. Oh, that was a magical
They
team.
say it was one
That
of those
was-
perfect games ever played by a basketball team, the way the Celtics
I
played
bet.
that game.
That was one of my favorite teams of all time.
And the Lakers just
People are saying, "Oh, I like close
Surrendered.
games." I go, "I'll take a blowout in a
Oh,
championship
any
game
day.
any
Any day.
day of the week."
Well, and
then I
Kevin,
don't have to do the laundry and do
I can just remember the no
I
means
can
no
sit
chant.
and watch
That's when
and
Kobe was
appreciate.
going
Yeah,
through
with
his
the-
little thing
yeah,
there. You
right.
know what I mean?
Kobe was a great player, though.
Yeah.
oh my
Give him
God,
that.
I got to tell one quick Kobe story. I remember during the Celtics game, he went up, contested on his right, and in the air on a 3-pointer, he switched hands and shot it left-handed, 3-pointer in the air, and he made it. And I'm like, that's a video game. That's not. He's not
know,
even a human being.
Being a Laker, we just hated him naturally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the love that people have for this guy, the
Oh.
people that have met this guy, there's so much admiration for him out there. I mean, he must have been quite a
There's
guy.
a lot of guys. L.A. seems to get very sociable guys like Magic. Who's been a more sociable guy than Magic? Shaq. You know, and these guys are great
Speaking of
businessmen
Magic,
too.
did you caught any of that winning time or
No,
whatever?
I haven't seen that.
Oh
Seen
my
it?
God! What they should all be suing the producers.
They
of
all
that.
are.
They make Jerry West look like he's ready for the insane asylum.
I know
yeah.
at least a couple are suing
They
them.
all
make
I
Pat
know
Riley
Kareem
look
is.
like a maniac. They make Magic Johnson look like.
Yeah.
I mean,
All right, we got to get to
Whatever, yeah, sorry.
Well, we got to get to the whole hometown team.
the hometown team. I was there last night, froze my balls off. We left.
You
in
know,
the
our
sixth
seats are
inning.
pretty cold.
They are cold. Yeah. Yeah.
I noticed it was 81 the last game I was at, and I was chilly in short sleeves.
we'll
and
appreciate that in the hot
I went to
summer
that 95-degree game, and I was comfortable, never broke
Yeah,
a
because we
sweat.
got no sun. Yeah, so it's cool. Yeah, right.
And there's a nice breeze there in left
Yeah,
field.
because I was freezing. Dead. I know if a team only gets one hit through 8 innings, they look dead, but it's not even competitive.
And the 2 runs they gave up were on 2.
Yeah.
They called them throwing areas, but Xander's Franchi should have picked.
Well,
I mean,
Devers was just.
so Scott, are you buying in this Hein Bloom plan? I mean, the minors
No,
develop the
he
players thing.
he
or-
dumped time long ago.
No, I didn't dump Hein, but I'm very disappointed because I think that there was an opportunity there. To be honest with you, the irony
build
is
on last
the biggest
year.
disappointment was I don't know what if Whitlock had stayed the closer, which he was at the end of last season, we would be up another 6 or 7 games, because we had no closer. I don't know why they did that. Why they are forcing Whitlock as a starter is beyond me.
Their record in close games is just abysmal.
Like, if I see-
the
if I-
team doesn't even try in the
I- so
last 3 innings
yeah,
because
it
they,
seems like-
they know the bullpen
I get
stinks.
alerts on my phone. That's about as much as I'm following the Red Sox
Yeah.
these days. And if it's close, I know they're going to lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if I see them with the 1-run lead going into the ninth, I just assume that
What was
there's a
it
loss.
the other day? 6-0, 8-2, and then they
8-2.
lose. And they lose. The bullpen just
That
gives
was
it
during
up.
Game 6. That was
Yeah.
a horrible sports night. They
Yeah.
gave up 10 runs in 3 innings.
Do you
to
think
the
John
Orioles.
Henry's okay with this?
I don't think John Henry.
I saw a picture of John Henry the other night, and he was watching the NHL playoffs up in his box.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
During
He must
the
be
game.
one thinking of buying that team. That's probably
He
what it
owns
is.
the Penguins.
Or did they end up getting them?
Yeah, he owns the
Him and
Penguins.
Magic Johnson, that group,
Yeah.
that sports group.
No,
right?
LeBron.
Fenway Sports Group.
LeBron,
yeah.
Yeah.
LeBron.
Yeah, Fenway Sports Group. Yeah, they bought the Penguins, but that's the only NHL team they have that
Do you
I
think
know
they're
of.
all counting on the gambling coming in? That's part of the acquisition. It seems like all these wealthy people that are
And the
gobbling
NHL,
up
have
these
you
pro
watched any
franchises.
of the playoffs? That's
Not
all
much
that-
since the Bruins went out.
That's all they show is gambling commercials. And the in-game broadcast
It doesn't
pushes
work.
it. The in-game broadcast is pushing it, like the over-under for the next period is going to be.
It's a shell game. That's a shell game. Always has. We'll bring a
Yeah.
casino into Atlantic City, Detroit. It'll boost up the city, and always it could never be any worse. And then it actually
makes
is
it
worse.
worse.
There is a floor. Going down that gambling road, look, people will enjoy it for a while, and then after a while, people get tapped out.
Well, you look at Atlantic City, it's a dump. You look at Vegas, half the population
I know a couple.
lives in the sewers.
I know a couple of state troopers that are on the detail over at the casino in Everett. They say there's so much trouble over there. It's like you don't even know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like all sorts of crap going on.
Because the dregs go there for free drinks. They get shit-faced, you know.
Yeah.
and then
So
all-
the government's
Playing
point of view,
penny
I think,
slots.
is it's people are doing this illegally. We might as well capture the dollar. Now,
Yeah.
I'm not a big gambler. My father's great comment to me about gambling was, gambling brings the family closer together. You get to live in a smaller house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we all. He and the other thing he said was, look at the buildings in Vegas, all built on losers, Timmy. You know what I mean? So those couple of great pearls of wisdom, my old man. I have a lot of isms. Gambling isn't one of them, thank God. I don't get it. I don't get this. People just love to just lose money. I mean, it's a loser's game.
You understand the action. People want action.
I don't get the
And they
action.
want to
I
have.
don't
They
get
want
it,
to be
though.
personally
Because
involved
you
in every
lose,
game.
you end up losing. That's just the
Some
way it is.
people
Bookies.
think that's great entertainment. I think winning is great
Yeah,
entertainment.
I love
Losing
winning,
is not, yeah.
but here's the thing: I hate to lose more than I like to win. Like,
Exactly.
if I win, great. If I lose one, I'm like, oh my God, I could have gone to Costco and got
Yeah.
Yeah.
a bunch of prime steaks for this. I don't get it.
But
Thank
that's
God.
what happens. Is it? Ultimately, it's going to fade away. Especially now, there's so much competition for the gambling dollar. It's just another.
The smart guys seem to be going after the gambling action.
But it's going to stop once these games start being fixed.
Because there's a lot of money in it.
It's
Oh,
going
yeah.
to be fixed.
There must be.
And the referees are going to be gotten to.
Because the likes of Kraft and all these very wealthy investors are really going hard after that gambling dollar.
And look, would you agree no game is affected more than NBA basketball by the referees?
Oh, so easy.
Yeah.
So easy.
And we know the referees are
Free
corrupt.
throws. I mean, a lot of sports. Football is kind of hard to control, really. I mean, there's so much going on. And basketball, you can just miss a free throw.
All right, so Red Sox, because they're going to be sellers. There's no question in my mind.
Gonna have to be now.
Who goes? I'm going to get J.D. Martinez, here or gone? Because you're a free agent after this year.
Or is it a team option?
No.
Nope.
It's free agent.
He's 100%
Yeah.
free agent.
How old is he now?
It depends on what they get for him. Jaime only wants
Sego.
prospects.
Come on, Sego.
Stay.
He's
gone.
Yeah, I think he's gone.
He's not part of Heinz' plan. That's not
Right.
a Heinz plan.
Xander. Hey, come on, we got to just get this. Xander.
Has to stay or else.
Has to stay.
The season,
He'll lose.
Heim wants to get rid of him, but it's tough luck.
Yeah.
Season ticket holders say no.
I think Big Papi sealed it. When Big Papi said they got to keep Xander, that was a message to Henry.
It's out of Heim's hands.
Xander is the face of that program. They have to keep him. I mean, there would be mutiny.
I
in this town.
don't remember Big Papi saying they had to keep Betts. I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I think I would have. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe.
Well, if they had kept Betts, they could get rid of Xander.
He didn't
But you
say
can't
keep
go-
Lester either.
You can't lose Betts and Xander.
I just want to mention Verdugo. Now that trade is looking really, really bad. Verdugo.
You know who's number one in WAR in the major leagues?
Betts? Yeah. And Verdugo is.
You know who number two is?
Who?
Devers.
Verdugo is he's a fourth outfielder.
He's hitting. He was as of last night. He was hitting 224. But I think
Yeah,
he was.
I like him.
He was the best. He was for average. He was the best hitting outfielder though.
Yeah, I mean, I like Verdugo. I like his kind of attitude
Fourth
towards the
outfielder.
game.
He's a fourth outfielder.
But they get no production from the outfield.
How's my boy JBJ doing?
terrible because he's
No,
a terrible
he's hitting.
player.
He was hitting 220. He's second.
He was hitting 220, and you're excited?
So we have,
For him, yes.
So we have
I'm
two
excited.
outfielders hitting 220.
Arroyo was
And
like
Kiki-
199.
And Kiki's 200.
And Kiki's like 203.
It's a horrible season. All right, let's go through this.
Wow.
Okay, so Xander stays, JD goes.
I don't. Do you see him in this this thing Hines got going on? Do you see JD in that mix?
No. All right, so Kiki, can we get anything for Kiki? Because they're not re-signing him.
Depends on them. What him and
He's
Connor's
gone.
been talking to his agent, I'm sure,
gotta
and they've got a
replace all these
number.
people.
They got some numbers, and it all depends on if the number is something he wants.
Who do you replace him with? That's the question.
Oh, if you can't replace a 200 hitter, I don't know. They'll find somebody.
True.
I would assume
200.
Durant.
He's just dropped out. He was so great in the last year.
JBJ right there if you need a
Is
defensive
Evaldi
outfielder.
gone? He's a free agent after this year.
Oh, my God. They're all gone.
If he signs another, what does he get, 17 million a year? If he signs another 3-4 year deal for 17 million, he's back here.
But all right, so
I think they can't replace him, so they have to keep him.
and nobody in the bullpen that anyone would want.
And
can you
there's
get
not
another-
enough down in the farm.
Can you get another one of him for 17 million? That's what I'm saying.
Probably not.
Probably not.
I think he stays. Vasquez, get rid of him.
How much worse
He's
could
the
it get?
best hitting catcher in baseball right
He
now.
is?
And yeah, 310.
He's
Good.
Vasquez
That
hit
builds his
310?
value.
But what happens
that's
is
not gonna hang. That's not gonna
No, yeah, you're right.
Vasquez
because,
hitting 310 right now.
yeah,
Yeah.
because
God.
they Cora beats the crap out of him. They play him too much, and by the end of the year,
he'll be big.
he's already played 140 games and he's dead. He's dead from
That's
catching.
that's not his baseball cat, Scotty. You know
No.
he's going to be down around 240 when the
Yeah,
season.
no,
ends.
that's
Oh
why you
yeah,
trade
by
him.
the time the season ends.
Yeah, 230.
But that's because they overuse him. They use Plawecki every
How many
10th
home runs
day.
does Vasquez have?
Oh, probably one or two.
You gotta get him.
He's not a home run hitter. Doubles hitter at
They're
best.
blowing the team up. You have to. You can't be this bad and not blow the team.
Yeah, but they got
already
no
been
catches.
blown
What are you
up.
going to do? Connor Wong?
No,
He's
no,
He's
no.
not going to hit 150.
No, you got to go get someone. I mean, you got to sign someone and stuff. You got to get some new blood.
Did
in
Wong
there.
come on that
Yeah,
bet
he-
steal?
He did, yeah.
They
Well,
suckered them
you know
on
the
that
whole
one.
farm system. I don't really know the farm system.
And Jeter
so-
Downs too.
And he
Do
looks
we
like
have-
he's
do we
not
have people-
panning out.
We have people for all these positions coming in.
We gotta
No,
get him.
no, we don't.
That's why you got to keep Xander, because if you have and re-sign Devers, of course. If you have Devers, Xander, and Story, those three, and then you put in Tristan Cases, that's a hell of an infield.
So what's JD batting right now?
Oh, like it's 370.
Oh, yeah, he's killing it.
See, I love. You know, I'm a huge.
Oh, we
JD
got to. All
fan.
right, wait,
we
we got to.
know
All right, we got to wrap it up. Well, this show is so much fun. Oh my God, we could talk
No
another
Patriots,
hour.
I could do a whole hour
Bruins?
bashing Kyrie Irving.
We'll
I
go
just
2
wanna
more
know.
hours. All right. Well, that's our show for tonight. I want to thank everyone behind the scenes, of course, the handsome one, with all his
All I will say is
Celtics attire.
think green.
Yep, you can't work in front of
Not
a green
just for the
screen.
Celtics either.
Want to thank the fellows, of course, and we missed the professor. And please check us out on our website at thegrandstanders.com. And tune in again next Wednesday night at 6:30 for another edition of Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman. Have a great and happy night.
I'm Scott Kerman. Have a great and happy night. The elephants are in town.
Here comes the circus.